Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Jarek Brian Show. My name is Jarek, and on today's show, guys, we have a very special guest. We have Lorenzo from Blue Spade. Lorenzo, how are you, friend?
Yeah, good. Really appreciate the opportunity, to have this talk, and we'll have some exploration to do today.
Yeah, I'm totally looking forward to it. And kind of before we kind of get into exactly what Blue Spade is and everything, kind of tell me kind of your background and how did you get all the way here to Blue Spade?
Yeah, absolutely. So, look, I studied law at university in the UK. I pursued a bit the law career. Then I transitioned to finance. So my real life job is managing funds for a hybrid leverage fund for Eastern Europe and Europe. So I got into Web3, I think about 4 years ago. I forgot a Kraken wallet with like $200 in it. I went in and I got involved in DeFi. That was my first kind of call. I made a good money on some tokens that I could arb on Gate.io and on the Stellar exchange, and that got me thinking like this is an exciting space to be in. And I started my first, I would say, I took over a project in a sense on Phantom. So Phantom was my first big blockchain. We're talking 2021. Took it from 50k TVL to around 800 million in the span of like 6 months. We were like 3 founders. I was the treasury manager. It was a really good experience, a learning curve. We had a great community over there. But after like 2022, everyone had different opinions, and it was me against 2-3 other people that wanted to go in a specific direction. And I was more calculated with the approach I had on the DAO funds that we had and everything that we had to do. We parted ways, and I just came back to crypto by launching my own project and managing it myself, and with a couple of selected and smart team members.
All right, that's great, Lorenzo. And just, I'm happy you're here and kind of explaining exactly what Blue Spade is. But let's kind of go ahead and dive into like, what is exactly Blue Spade?
Absolutely. So Blue Spade is a perpetual DEX. The perpetual DEX model is a model that's going to stay around for a long time because it's one of the only real Web3 business projects that is working. People trade, they trade all the time, and they don't rely on bear markets or bull markets because you can always short and you can always long. V1 of Blue Spade is based on the GMX model, but now we're looking to do V2 for Blue Spade, which is going to completely separate us from the crowd. We're just taking the best pieces from other perpetual dexes and we're building something that's truly unique. And I'm really excited for this journey.
Yeah, me too. And everything like what you have kind of going on looks really good though. Like how many chains are you going to kind of be on, or how many chains are on currently?
Absolutely. So at the moment, when we first started Blue Spade, we launched on Chronos. No marketing, just organic, with a couple of interested individuals. And now we moved over to Polygon. We're currently conducting an IDO. This is the first, I would say, bigger raise for Blue Spade. But when I looked overall on the market, I realized that having a perpetual on a couple of chains is amazing because it puts us in a really good position when everything comes back. So at the moment, we have 2 chains. In the roadmap, we schedule another 3 blockchains by the end of this year, 3 to 4, because we've just finished a partnership. It took like 3 months of intense discussions with a newer top 200 token blockchain. And I'm excited because they're going to support the marketing efforts. They're giving us a grant for V2, so we'll be the only perpetual DEX on that particular blockchain. On top of that, 3 more by the end of this year, and in Q1 2 more. So we're talking about 7 to 8 blockchains with the same cross-chain supply of 20 million tokens. So that's the big part about Blue Spade.
That's great, and that's very ambitious. I love that you guys are kind of doing that. But like when you started on Chronos, right, and you came over here to Polygon, like why did you choose Polygon to come over, like come to Polygon?
Absolutely. So I think, and I don't think, I believe that Polygon is a chain that has massive potential. First off, it has one of the most vibrant communities, be it NFTs or tokens, and they have a lot of active wallets. They have a support, a foundation that's there for you, is there to help you out, and they are supporting real founders with real projects. And that's all I look for in a chain: someone that's ready to invest time marketing in you and give you the opportunity to present to someone that believes in the blockchain. So with all these massive updates that are coming to Polygon, they're poised to be top 3, even top 2. I think they have a very, very big chance. So why shouldn't I be there? Why shouldn't I be here on Polygon and, be part of this vibrant and active community of very smart individuals?
And we're happy to have you, and it's great that you say that. But like, as far as the developing side, like, how has that been? Like, has the team at Polygon Labs been like very accessible to you? Like, can you kind of talk about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So before I joined Polygon, I was in discussions with members from the team like Johnny, Sid, and they were very happy to onboard me on a private Telegram chat where there's other founders on the Polygon ecosystem, where we can have access to them and discuss with them different initiatives that we want to funnel. And that's been great. So they're pushing the right projects, they're pushing the right founders, and they're pushing the right narrative. So from that perspective, the support's been good, and it's been great to be here. And there's more things coming along the line, but I understand, and this is a message for other founders and other builders, is they might not reply to you on the spot, because just imagine the workload that everyone has to undergo. So it's a small waiting game, but they will always reply to you, and they will always give you honest advice and put you in touch with the right people. They put me in touch with XY, which is our bridge partner, and the integration happened for the Blue Bridge through XY in less than a week, and that was amazing. That was done through Sid and Johnny. The introductions.
Yeah, that's great. And shout out to Johnny. Johnny's an absolute legend, and yeah, man, we're happy to have you here. I'm always singing like Polygon's praises, and it's just great that you're here, especially at Dex. I don't think there's a perp Dex here, not that I can kind of remember. Yeah, I don't think so. I may be wrong. Dex is kind of like not kind of like my kind of realm, because when it comes to Dex longing and shorting and everything like that, I'm kind of scared of it. Not gonna lie, man. But how do you kind of like break into that as someone new to like Dexes and everything like that? Is there kind of like a way, do you guys have any kind of education or anything like that for beginners?
Yeah, absolutely. So we work with a couple of professional traders. So if anyone wants to get involved in trading, they can do that and get in touch with them during our Discord groups. They talk about different things. That's one aspect of trading. But one thing I have to say is, when you have 100x leverage, is you're in a position where you're more likely to lose than win. So you need to have really good management in how you deploy your trades. But the good thing about perpetuals, and this is the main difference between a perpetual DEX like us and a central exchange, is on the central exchange, they have deeper liquidity, but they give you nothing. So they're only geared towards traders. Perpetual DEXs are geared towards passive investors, stakers too, and also traders. So if you never want to trade and you want to never get involved in trading, perpetual DEXs are good, because you can supply liquidity for those traders and they trade with your liquidity. So we generate fees when someone opens a position, when they close it. There's a borrowing fee from the pool that they have to pay per hour against their total position value, which is the funding rate. And these are fees that come to the protocol from the trader. So a passive investor, when he stakes either our governance token or the liquidity token, they earn both these tokens, give you 90% of the fees that we collect. And that's something that puts us aside, because everyone will trade, and they do trade, and they will continue to trade, because there's massive opportunities to gain money in trading, but there's also massive opportunities to lose money. So I would think of a perpetual DEX as a casino, right? In casinos, you have big whales that win, but sometimes they win massive, but most of the time they have a lot of losers. They lose money. So a perpetual DEX is here to stay, because it's always profitable for the liquidity stakers and the just stakers in general, so the passive investors, And it's not so profitable for the 99% of the traders. It's profitable for the 1% that know what they're doing, but they don't account for the big profits overall. So that's the good thing about it. You're investing basically in a casino. We're here to stay, and we have a proven revenue model. That's the good thing about perpetual DEX.
Oh yeah, that's great. And you provide liquidity and get kind of rewarded for it. And can you kind of go over like kind of what would be the kind of incentive or what percentage you get from providing that liquidity again?
Absolutely. So real numbers, I'm talking here real numbers. You can provide liquidity with stables. And stables on most cases give you anything from 4%, like 2%, 4%, 6%. 8% is a lot, and we've seen what happened with like Celsius with these numbers. But a perpetual, when you supply stable, it can provide you with anything from 20 to 100% plus APR. And these are real numbers because we pay fees once a week, and every week, depending on how much we collect, we update the APRs. But the average is anything from like 20 to 100 plus. So you have real yield that's based on real fees because we collect the native blockchain token. So on Chronos, there's Crow that's being collected and distributed, and on Polygon, there's Matic that's being collected and is distributed. So there's no external pressure on the governance token. It's supposed to be very stable. So yeah, this is the incentive with a perpetual. You can't make this kind of money with staking stables anywhere else.
Yeah, that's amazing. And you guys are currently are going to be live on Matic, or you guys how far out are you guys actually launch on Matic, or have you done so already?
Yeah, so when we came over to Polygon, we came over without the governance token. So the governance token is the token that has the 20 million supply. The consensus is on each chain we release 2 million tokens. These tokens, they can be staked. So it's for passive investors and for traders too, if they want to recoup some of their losses or their winnings, whatever. When you stake it, it gives you 30% of the platform fees. So on Polygon, we came over with the protocol, but didn't have the token available. So now the token is available to buy on Polygon in our IDO. A very interesting mechanic for the IDO. No one has done it, and I've seen so many people now in the space that copy this model. I've seen NFT projects, I've seen other projects copy it, because usually referrals, they used to pay them in the native token. We pay referrals in USDT. So from 10% from the buy goes to your wallet if you referred someone. So that's a cool mechanic. It's just incentivized because we're in a really interesting market now. There's a lot of things are not moving the right way. So this is a good incentive for people to get in and get a discount and refer friends and get paid. But yeah, that's basically the mechanic. Like, we're live on Polygon. The protocol is ready to use, and we're gearing up with the IDO. There's I think 9-10 days left from the IDO. Once it's done, we're starting the roadmap, and that roadmap is massive. Massive.
It is. I've seen it. I've seen everything you guys are trying to accomplish. But can you kind of go more? I was kind of looking at you guys and kind of doing the research. The partnership that you have with Board Candy City.
Yeah, absolutely. Board Candy City was the launchpad that launched us on Chronos. Mm-hmm. So I always respected what they've done because they bring something else to the space. They have a game going on for them. They have another game. So they're doing something that's not been done in the DEX space. So our partnership included being launched on Chronos, and now because we had a very stuffy roadmap, we decided to launch on our own, the IDO, because they're taking time to integrate, and I fully respect that because it's a monumental job for them to do. But we're trying to pace out the competition. So for us, and you've seen the roadmap too, it's a massive game of just being sure that we can deliver something before the end of the year. And that's why I'm rushing. I'm rushing because I have to deliver this. And when I say to my community, to my investors, that I'm going to do something by that date, then by that date you can expect it, because I always keep true to my words.
Yeah, and I just interviewed Board Candy City, and they were great, and they have a lot of things going on too as well. And you're saying that the ICO is still currently ongoing. When does that end?
Our ICO ends in 10 days. It's been running for it's in 10 days.
And it's been
Yeah,
going
and now
on
we're,
since May, right?
you mean for us or for
I'm sorry. Yeah. How long has it been going on?
our IDO? For a couple of days.
Couple of days. Okay.
Yeah.
And as far as like kind of the, when you guys are trading these tokens and everything like that, and I noticed that you all have like a lot of like community votes and everything like that. Like, how is that going to be incorporated? Is there like a DAO or anything like that you have?
Not yet, but
Hmm.
we will. So this is the interesting part about the roadmap. Because we want to be on 7 chains total by
Hmm.
Q1, uh, you have to think as a founder, how am I going to achieve this in the best possible way for my investors? So the DAO, we're building a DAO that's going to happen next month, the integrations and the building of the DAO. After this IDO ends, the DAO will be on ETH. And it's very interesting, you know why? Because ETH is a chain with the most TVO. That's a fact.
Yeah.
What the good part about ETH is they lack good projects. Like the majority of projects on ETH are geared towards the wrong sentiments. There's not many DAOs around that will have our mechanics. So this DAO is basically an investment DAO. So in this investment DAO, there's a limited amount of tokens that you can purchase. It will have its own launchpad and projects will come to us. Now, the difference between a normal launchpad like you see on DEXs or other types of launchpads is they make you buy their token to get different types of allocations. And after you do that, you buy the token, they don't get involved in what happens after. That's up to that particular project. So if a project raises $500,000 or $1 million or whatever amount they raise, the launchpad's only function is to present it to their community. And the aftermarket, whatever they have to do, they don't verify. They just leave it because that's all they had to do. So this DAO basically will have the launchpad function. Projects will come to us. We have team members with a lot of experience. I work in finance. I know how to manage projects. I've seen so many projects that come through my hands on a monthly basis. I will vet with the community what we should invest in. We will launch them, give them the opportunity to be launched. And once that happens, we will control the way they go to market and how they market and who do they market with and what kind of business dealings they do. Because the one thing that I hate about Web3, this is one of the big things that are not going well in this space, is many founders, they can't justify the money that they get and they can't justify the spending. So they spend irrationally and then they have to come back to do other raises. So this is basically an investment vehicle that's going to pave the way for Blue Spades to enter the ETH ecosystem, and also is going to offer a safe haven for investors to invest in real projects that they can see the whole time flow of every project, because we will manage them with the teams. So it's an investment, basically an investment DAO that's going to provide liquidity for Blue Spade. It's going to have protocol and liquidity. It will collect fees. It will share the fees with the DAO token holders, and that's the day one utility. And we wait for projects to come to us. That's the second utility, and then it's cross chain. Same 7 blockchains for the DAO too.
I like that. So you basically guys are going to get together, kind of like an investment group, and you guys are just going to pretty much decide on what to kind of. That is really cool. I like that. I like the fact that you are doing that and incorporating that. I love that you incorporating the community and kind of getting them involved, and maybe we can learn some things along the way. But you mentioned cross chain, right?
Yes.
And I'm kind of a big cross chain kind of a podcast. And do you believe that's kind of like the future? And like in some of these projects, they're going to need to kind of go cross chain. Are you a big kind of like, obviously you're a big fan of it, but do you kind of explain like how important it is going cross chain?
Yeah, absolutely. So I believe in cross-chain because at one point, one blockchain can be better than another in terms of active daily users, in terms of the fees it generates. But having a project that is cross-chain just gives you the ability to introduce a new user to something that he never thought about. Because I got messages even today, yesterday, every day I get messages from different investors that tell me, I've never heard of Kronos. I've never been on Polygon. I've never taken the chance to even look at this blockchain. So when you have a cross-chain project, I'll give you an example. Blue Spade is going to be on 5 chains, let's say. Today, Polygon's earning more fees than ETH. So you as an investor, you take your tokens, you unstake them, you put them in a bridge, you move them to Polygon. because it's more profitable for you to have them on Polygon. So now you're exposed to something that you never thought is going to happen, to a newer blockchain. Now you're starting to explore, and Polygon has a lot of things to offer. So now you're exploring the DeFi side of things. You're exploring the NFT markets. You're exploring every project, the good projects that are on this blockchain. So cross-chain is something that needs to be taken into account. The only issue with cross-chain is a lot of projects redeploy. I am not of that. I don't believe in this, because if you want to redeploy, that means you want to do it. It looks like a cash grab, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you use your interface and use the same amount of tokens that you have initially and just move them around? Let users decide the fate of your project and where they want to go. You don't have to redictate every time you relaunch on a new blockchain. Relaunch the token, relaunch this, relaunch that. It's not good. It doesn't look good.
Yeah, and, totally agree. And I like the fact that you guys have these many different things going on. You're going cross chain and everything like that. But as far as you mentioned DeFi, right? And I kind of asked everybody this too as well, especially that's in the kind of like the decentralized finance field. Like where do you see kind of like decentralized finance like in the next kind of like 5 years, in your own opinion?
Absolutely. So DeFi is going to be I would say the cornerstone. A blockchain is just a foundation. If you don't have good projects on the foundation, the house crumbles. And DeFi is the easiest way to onboard Web 2 users. It's easier to onboard Web 2 users into Web 3 via DeFi than it is to onboard them via central exchanges, because they have access to a web wallet, a hot wallet. It's easy to create one. It's easy to receive. It's easy to invest, and it's easy to get involved. There's so many dynamics that you can do in DeFi, and it presents an opportunity for projects and businesses in Web 2 to access a global scale of investors that they would never have. It's one of the easiest way to make your name known. And I'll give you a very, very simple example. Let's say you're a corner shop, or you're a chain of corner shops that sells all sorts of products. And you have a promotion, and basically you want to advertise to the whole world that you're bringing in a new product. Now, what options do you have? You either do traditional marketing, you go on Facebook, you do this, you do that, or you can tell people, well, I'm just sticking an NFT. Who buys this product will get a free NFT from our collection. And from 5,000 NFTs, there's gonna be a raffle. It costs you very little to do this, and it brings a lot of eyes to that particular product that you have to sell. So it gives you a whole different dynamic. It includes you in the World Wide Web, really. And this is DeFi. And without this internet money, because that's how you can call it, it's fast, it's cheap, it's reliable, it's visible, it's transparent. So it's putting a massive pressure even on the financial system. So they're going to adapt, and we're going to see more and more and more people getting involved. So yeah, I see it very, very, it's a ramp up. Every year, we're closer and closer to that digital economy.
Yeah, and that's great to hear. And, I'm a big believer in DeFi, even I don't understand some of it though, but I believe that is, kind of the future, where we're going to be kind of going. Now, as far as DeFi and everything like that, are you going to have, I know a lot of DEXs have like certain like trading competition and things like that. Will you be having the same thing?
Yes, we're gearing towards competitions too. Definitely on volume, referral competitions for traders. There's going to be so many incentives, but we have to take into account the cross-chain aspect. So I'm thinking of doing like a blockchain versus blockchain for Blue Spade. So let's see which blockchain posts most numbers. But I'm in talks with different partners on how can I create cross-chain liquidity, because every perpetual at the moment, they have liquidity on a chain. So as an investor, and you need to use that chain to use that liquidity. I'm thinking of a solution where the ETH liquidity becomes poly liquidity becomes Solana liquidity, and when you have unified liquidity, like a layer zero basically, or a mechanic that allows everyone to trade under the same roof, that's going to be a different ballgame. And we're exploring this option, and it's very complicated, but it will happen for us. And I think that's going to give us a massive edge compared to everyone else, because perpetuals, they have a percentage of use against the TVL. If you have like 40-50% of the TVL used, that's good. But how can you make it 100%? And the easiest way to make it 100% is give other chains the chance to trade with your unused liquidity. So let's say someone on Polygon wants to open a long with ETH liquidity because there's more liquidity in ETH. Now they use the ETH liquidity and open a long. So that's the way that you can use the whole liquidity, and at the same time you generate more fees. And more fees means more fees for the investors, because we only retain 10%. The rest goes back to our investors.
Yeah, and like I said, that's amazing what you guys are doing, right? And speaking of the fees, can you kind of, like, if you can, like some of the fees that you're going to have, like the rev shares, like, you know, and things like that, and all the fees that you're going to be having, like, kind of on the platform?
Absolutely. So there's a 0.1% fee to open a position. Mm-hmm. There's a 0.1% fee to close it. There's a borrowing fee of 0.0067% to keep the position open per hour. There's a liquidation fee, and these are the fees that Blue Spade collects. So you think of it like, I've seen positions open for like $1,500, $2,000, $5,000, and they've kept them open for like 3-4 days. They used $50 collateral, and they paid in fees $45 just on that one transaction. But they've made good profit, but they paid fees back to the protocol, because it's, I'll just give you the big examples. GMX is one of the biggest perpetual dexes.
Yes.
Some days they make more fees than Arbitrum, the blockchain. Mm-hmm. They've had one day, I think a month and a half ago, they've collected in one day $8.7 million of fees. And all the big perpetuals, every day I don't see fees under $10,000 per blockchain. And that's crazy. And no project, and it's very, very, very few projects can give you this amount of fees, because we're taking away slowly the perpetuals from the central exchanges, because you can earn more here, way more. Obviously you pay a bit more than you'll pay on a central exchange, but the central exchange doesn't want to give you anything back for transacting with them. They have referral programs, and that's how they bring a lot of people in. But for the average investor, the passive investor, the whale, the big guy with $1 million that he's looking to park it somewhere, they don't give you that option. They can tell you whatever, but they don't. They can say to you, oh, you have $1 million worth of USDT, we'll give you 3% APR. Well, if you come to a good perpetual, that $1 million that you put in as liquidity, traders will use it, and you can expect 20%, 30% APR, 40%. And the thing is, GMX, over the course of the 2 years they've been in business, they've had red days where traders won more than they've lost. So that means the liquidity provider loses. But overall, the liquidity providers are always profitable, always. And it's a fact, because if they weren't meant this way, the liquidity would just drain up. And it doesn't, it just grows. So it's a very interesting space to be in, I can tell you that. And the whole spectrum, like everything that we're building, because we're building a DEX too. A DEX that's going to have like a same thing. So you have 3 projects that are tied up together. One provides investment opportunities and liquidity for the perpetuals. The other one provides you, like the DEX will provide you the LPs and other tokens that you can trade. So it's a whole ecosystem. You can call it the blue ecosystem, because I'm not here to build something small. I'm here to build a monster. And it will take me a bit of time, but I'm building faster than everyone else. I'm here like 20 hours a day, 7 days a week. I don't take holidays. I have good people that I work with. All our team are doxed. So that's another thing. I'm the only perpetual DEX founder that's doxed. And you can check.
I saw it. No, everybody's doxed here. And yeah, I love the fact that you guys are trying to, like, you know, get to market and all those things though too. And, you know, as far as, like, you know, the 2 tokens, of course, right, you have the blue token, right, and you have the BLP token, right. And just to kind of, for people that, you know, want to kind of get like a little bit of kind of background on that, so the blue token and the BLP token, can you kind of explain how they'll kind of be used here in the best way possible?
Absolutely. So the blue token, and I'll speak side by side because we're talking about V1 now, and I'll explain to you what V2 means because V2 is what we'll focus on very shortly. So V1 blue is gonna be the same for V2. So it's the governance token of the platform. It has a limited supply of 20 million. We have a bridge already integrated, which is XY. If you want to move tokens from one bridge to the other one, you can. This token, when you stake it, it gives you 30% rev share. So it takes 30% of the platform fees. It gets deposited. So depending on your pool value, on how many blue tokens you have, you take away that a percentage of that 30%. Once it's staked, it generates another token, which is called escrow blue. Now, this escrow blue is 1-to-1, and when you vest it, it becomes blue linearly over 1 year. This is only a limited incentive because we only have 2 million blue tokens to give to this vesting program. When that ends, that's it. It's from the same 20 million supply. So we put aside supply to make this mechanic happen. So as we move from blockchain to blockchain, each blockchain is going to get 2 million from us. And once they have them through an IDO or just any offering, they can move them to any blockchain they want. So if you want to have them on Polygon, after you bought them, you put them on Polygon. We don't have an LP yet on Polygon. We will build one. That's one of the reasons we're doing this IDO. So that's the blue token. So 30%, this is the big take from it. 30% rev share. Once staked, and you get an additional token that can be vested, and it transforms into blue. Now you move to BOP, and this is the main difference. V1 is an indexing token liquidity. So that means in the token supply, it's an unlimited burn and unlimited mint. So you mint it against one asset that we support. So for example, we have Bitcoin, Link, Ethereum, Matic, I'm talking about Polygon, and stables. So once you mint it, it has a price that fluctuates depending on how the index is performing. Because an index, basically simplified, means that there's a pool of tokens. There's $5,000 of Bitcoin, there's $3,000 of Ethereum, there's $10,000 worth of Matic, and so on. So the price, if Matic drops in price, and because it has a higher pool weight, it will bring the price of the token down with it. If it goes up in price, Matic, it goes up as well. So that's how the index token works. If you want to do a long with the current V1, it's like GMX. The token that you want to long needs to have liquidity. So that means if there's no liquidity in Matic, you can't do a Matic long. If there's no liquidity in BTC, you can't do a BTC long. All shorts are done through stables. So this is the main difference. Now with V2, and the limitations with V1 is that you have to always have liquidity in the token that you want to trade. I want to have a perpetual where people can trade anything under the sun. So if you want 50 pairs, 100 pairs, whatever pairs you want, we will have them. With V2, we'll only have stable liquidity. That's it. So it never fluctuates. It doesn't go to 80 cents, 50 cents, 80, 90 cents, nothing. It just stays at $1. And this liquidity pays both longs and shorts. So that means we can put as many tokens as we want for anyone to trade. If you want to trade Pepe or you want to trade any meme coin, it's there for you to trade without having to have Pepe liquidity to trade longs. And that's the limitations. Like GMX has built a V2 model, but the V2 model is single token exposure with an LP. So they will always be limited in the amounts of tokens that you can trade. We're taking the gains approach, the Vela approach, where you have as many tokens as you want, because we want to have on V2 Forex markets, and we want to have metal markets with 1,250x, the highest leverage of any perpetual. And we protect liquidity providers by implementing a max gain of 1,000%. Like Gains, which is one of the highest and biggest perpetuals, they have 900% with 250x for Forex. But we'll have 1,250x on crypto. Not even Robit does these numbers.
That's crazy. And you said, like, trading like meme tokens, you can bring all the degens kind of out, But as far as that, right? You just you're saying you're already on Chronos, right? You're going to Polygon. Do you have like an idea of the next chain you're thinking about going to?
Yes. We're thinking there's two options. It's either the blockchain that we have the grant with, and I don't want to disclose the name. I just said
Sure.
it's a top 200 for now. It's going to be available very soon, that this information, because we're ironing out NDAs and so on. So we're building V2 there. So that's going to go hand in hand with the the third blockchain, which is going to be probably either Solana or Arbitrum, but I'm inclining to do Solana. Solana has been an interesting blockchain because they have one single perpetual. It's that's massive. It's called Drift, and it's order book based with 10x. Like we know, Solana, there's a lot of people that want to trade hard. You know, they're big degens. That this 1,250x will do them well, because some of them will get very lucky and make super profitable trades, but some of them will lose. It's just a fact. You know, 100x can destroy you in like 10 seconds. 1,000x is just you open it and it's finished if you don't do the right approach. But it's going to be interesting. So I'm thinking we're doing for this blockchain, we're doing the V2. We're going to be the only blockchain over there, like the only perpetual DEX on that blockchain, which is good, which conjoined marketing efforts. So we're going to be on Spaces, we're going to be on YouTube videos, we're going to do all the good things. And then Solana as the third. Fourth is probably going to be Arbitrum or ETH. And then Arbitrum, ETH, BSC. And I'm thinking of Venom, but I'm not sure yet. I'm just waiting for them to launch with Venom and Scroll. And that's it for Blue Spade. It's going to be on enough chains to make it worth, the big money. Every perpetual DEX at the moment, the good ones, the governance token, which would be our blue, is worth over $1. So that's 10x from our price. GMX is $30, which is like 300x. And I'm just thinking to myself, they're only less than 5%, and I'm telling you honestly, less than 5% of all perpetuals are on more than 3 blockchains with the same supply.
That's usually it's GMX went crazy too.
Yes, GMX is on 2 blockchains. You know, a lot of guys approach them to go on other blockchains, but they just sit with these 2. I don't agree with just being on 2. I want to be on more. Because I want to, that's why this whole blue ecosystem is happening, because the DAO will provide stability with providing USDC in the pool, so traders can have to trade. The DEX will provide our LPs, and Blue Spade is going to provide the opportunity to earn as a passive investor if you want to, or as a trader if you want to do trading. So it's a universe of 2-3 projects side by side on every blockchain that each one is going to interact with the other one, and all of them are going to generate real money, real fees, not something that I promise you. It's a fact. DEXs make money if they're set up the right way. DAOs make money by investing and providing liquidity, and the perps make money too, because that's the model. And I'm so excited to do this roadmap, I'm telling you.
I am too, especially the DEX parts too, with the yield farming and everything like that, because I kind of want to get into that field, because like I was telling Board Candy City, man, if I would have known how to do yield farming and liquidity pools and anything like that this last bull run, I'd have been a lot better. I would have been a lot better, man. And I saw everybody celebrating and doing all these things and making all this passive income, man. And I was so left out. I was so angry too. But you guys are going to be providing education on that too as well. You said with
absolutely,
yeah. Oh, okay.
Absolutely,
that's great.
It's needed.
Yeah, 100%.
It's needed. It's needed. You're doing a fantastic job by doing, and I know for a fact, and I've heard only good stuff about yourself. You're interviewing the right people, and you're asking the right questions, and you're making the process easier to onboard the next, 100,000 users, whatever. I think you will onboard a lot of users into this space, and I can only put my hat down and say congrats. It's a big job you're doing.
I appreciate that, and thank you. And like I said, I appreciate you kind of coming on the show and kind of telling me about what you guys going on. And I love the fact that you guys are having such an ambitious, and you guys are just boom. You guys want to go ahead and kind of just get out there, because a lot of people right now are just kind of sitting back and just kind of waiting. And I just love the fact that you guys are we want to build now. And I think those are the projects that are going to win, that are trying to build through the bear market. Because I just don't think that some of these projects that are kind of high, I'm not going to call them out. I'm not going to call them out. Yeah. But they're hiding right now because it's a bear. Like, oh no, we're not going to do anything.
Yes.
Because of that. So, kind of, what's your philosophy on kind of like a lot of projects right now are kind of running kind of scared during this bear market. Like, what's kind of your take on building through this bear market?
Absolutely. I'll tell you one of the key things that I've seen lately. It's a lot of them don't market properly, because you can't really market properly because there's no good marketing guys. Like, all of the good marketing guys, you have to reach out, or you have to have a personal interaction of being introduced by someone. The other marketing guys, these influencers or whatever they call themselves, they have their botted accounts. They look good on paper, but they don't deliver value, and they're highly priced. I have so many examples, and I'll send them to you privately, of interesting people in the space. And if you see what prices and what kind of price list they have, you'll be like, "What? Are these people for real?" So that puts off a lot of projects because they're scared. You know why they're scared? Because they're scared they're not going to mint out, they're not going to sell out. What am I going to do? I'm going to look bad in my investors' eyes, and so on. This is not a bull market. You will have to extend, and you will have to reach other avenues to make your vision a reality. And if you're not ready to build now, you're definitely not ready to build in a bull market, because it's going to crush you. The bull market, when it comes back, it's going to be so fast, you're not going to keep up. And all the projects that are building now, and they're struggling, or they're finding it hard to find investors, or whatever the situation might be, if they bear with it and they continue to deliver good foundations, because that's what you need, a foundation. If you've built the foundation but don't have traction this month, you don't have traction next month, you don't have traction in like 3 months, well, the month that you will get all the traction will come to you. And that's the mentality that you need to have. It's a mental game. If you're set up, you set up to fight the bear market with the ideology that no one's going to come to invest, you're finished. You might as well quit. And that's and you've seen it yourself, that's a lot of what these founders do. They fold. They accept the defeat. They say, I can't do it. It's not the current condition is bad. It's not happening. It's not good. But look, blockchains know this. And you know what they've done? They've incentivized projects to build. But they have a huge list of curating questions to bring the right builders. Because I can tell you that for a fact, because I've done the application for Magic Eden. Because we're building an NFT collection. So Magic Eden, yeah.
I did not know that. So can you are you able to kind of go more into that? Or
absolutely. Yeah, sure.
I don't want you to get in trouble or anything like that. Or
no. It's just I just made the application. They have that fund.
Yeah.
They have the funds to support. Yeah, exactly. It's nothing yet. I've just done the application, and I can tell you the application is long. It's long, and it asks the right questions always. So only that application will eliminate 80% of people. And in that application, they ask you, different things that you have to fill in that are very deep. And if you don't have real life experience or no experience, that's not for you. So blockchains recognize, and different protocols and launchpads and so on, they recognize that, and at this time they need the right builders, and they're doing all these programs. So when they say I can't do it because there's no money in the market, well, there's all these programs that you can hop on. Like, if you're building something good and it's going to provide value for the wider community, hop on board the projects. Like the program of these projects, the programs of the blockchains. That's why we got a blockchain deal. It took me 3 months to get a grant, but I got it. But that meant they had to do a lot of due diligence on me, and it's understandable, because when someone gives you something, they put their name out there, their reputation that they've built with you, which are a newer project, a newer team maybe to some people, and they're taking a risk. So obviously they have to do a lot of due diligence before they say, yes, I'm going to plaster Blue Spade all over our profiles, and I'm going to show my face with you in different videos. And then what? If I'm not good, they're not exposing themselves to that risk, because these are corporates. These are corporate projects. A blockchain is a corporate project. A good big launchpad is a corporate project, is run like a corporate, like a company. So they have a branding aspect to it. So they don't associate themselves with the bad people. So that's why I'm saying there's money out there. You just have to be proactive as a founder to find it. If you don't get money, just talk one-on-one. Get in touch with people yourself. This is a constant grind. If you're not ready to do it, then you're not ready for the bull market, and that's a fact.
Yeah, I 100% agree. But you did mention NFT collection, and I love NFTs. So can you kind of go into that, or kind of what that's going to be?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I would love to know more about that NFT collection and how it's going to kind of play in the Blue ecosystem.
Absolutely. So I'm a fan of small collections. Mm-hmm. So the first thing that I thought is, 2000. That's the collection. Mm-hmm. It's going to be 2000 NFTs, and when I want to do something, I want to tie them together. So what's the benefit? I like it. This word utility, it just I'm starting to hate it.
Me too.
This utility word. I'm starting to hate it because it's being overused and it's not doing what it needs to do. So let's call this NFT utility, overused terms. So our NFT will have day one passive income ability. So that means, depending on its rarity, it gives you two things. It gives you it gives you discounts on trading. So the higher the rarity, the higher the discounts on the trading fees, which could be massive for someone. Side by side with, for example, big projects like Gains, the highest legendary, I think, floor is 9 ETH, 8 ETH. Mm-hmm. So they're very valuable because they provide you with real benefits. And the second thing is staking. So they will take a percentage, once staked, of the fees that the protocol generates. So because Blue Spade's live and is available, the NFT collection, once it's minted out, you stake it, you have day one passive income ability and also trading ability. So that's the mechanic behind it. But I could have done something simple, but we're going for the 3D collection. That's really pretty on the art. So it blends two dimensions. It gives you this passive ability to earn money whilst you keep it in your staked or trade with it, but also it gives you a reason to showcase it in your Twitter profile because it's cool, it's interesting, it's nice. They're based on animes. There's some warriors from different eras.
I like
it. And and we're trying we've done it 3D. Because we're going to integrate the 3D models that we have into different kind of videos. So we're thinking of doing videos where they battle on candles, like green candles, red candles, and it gives the protocol life. It animates it. So the 3D will put us in that position to animate our protocol and give it life. So that's where I see the NFT part of things. And I'm excited about it because it just brings a different crowd. And I know for a fact there's very few NFTs that, keep their holders long term unless they have community. So this is the spectrum I see with NFTs. You can have a couple of spectrums. You can have this cult following of NFTs holders, that hold them for the clout, they hold them for the connections, they don't bring anything, just that, social factor, like, look at me. Then you have NFTs that give you like some sort of passive income ability, which are there to stay and they give you some value, or gated communities, or there's different mechanics. And then you have the rugs, right? Because there's or the NFTs that do multiple mints, or they never end minting. You have those two because they never know how to price themselves. This is the biggest problem I'm seeing in this space at the moment. The founders do not know how to price their collection at. Mm-hmm. And because they do not know how to do it, they will be put in a position where they have to do a second, a third, a fourth, a fifth generation. And this is something that every NFT investor that's going to listen to this show, he needs to understand that too. What's a 20,000 Matic full mint going to do for your project? You're going to pay servers for 1 year from that money, and that's it. I mean, you need to think how to price it correctly, because that's the perceived value you're giving away to your investors. If you price it at 2 Matic, at 1 Matic, at whatever matic, expect a second collection, a third collection, and they just bump the price till they get to the real value. So maybe at the fifth, sixth, seventh, whatever collection, they get to like 25 matic, which should have been the first price from the get-go. So that's what I'm saying. I believe in real value. I provide an NFT that will bring you real value day one. So I'm going to price myself correctly.
I agree, but also too, will some of the rarer ones have like more perks than some of the other ones? Like you'll get like more kind of like yield or anything like that, or do you kind of have a plan on that?
Yeah, absolutely. They will have a higher pool share. They will have for the staking and also for the fees. The highest legendary, like the legendary types, will give you the highest discount, and it will be considerable. I've run some simulations, and they can save you up like 20-30%, a huge chunk in fees. And if you're a big trader, that can mean a couple of thousand, even $10,000 a month if you're a whale and you trade big. So just one NFT can give you that. And we're doing something interesting with the IDO because we've recognized, we need to give more value, but not devalue our brand. For every $1,000 buy, we'll airdrop an NFT.
Oh,
so man, that's yeah, absolutely, yeah. So we've done that, and also that any buy, even if it's $1, will give you early access to the DAO tokens, because I think from that, and I'll tell you why. The DAO tokens will be very sought after because I'm doing LinkedIn for that. I'm quite big on LinkedIn. I have a lot of connections because I'm treating that DAO as an investment vehicle. So it's going to have licenses registered in the right countries like Dubai and Switzerland and so on, and it's going to attract a different kind of crowd, the institutions, the VCs, and so on. So you get involved in this IDO, you get early access to the tokens, and you get the NFT, one NFT. So if you do $2,000 buy, you get 2 NFTs. The more buys you do, the more NFTs you get. So that 10% of the NFT supply will be airdropped.
Yeah, that's a great incentive, and I like how you guys are kind of doing that. And yeah, this is super exciting, man. I'm glad that you guys are here, kind of building on Polygon. And I do want to thank you for coming on to my show. But before you go, is there anything that you want to say, or anybody you want to shout out, or any community members you want to shout out, or team that you want to shout out before you leave?
Yeah, absolutely. The first shout out, goes to you.
Oh, thank you, man.
It goes to you because you're taking a lot of time from your day to speak to people. That's the first thing. Second shout out would be to everyone that's building on Polygon now, because now is a tough time. Kudos to you. You've done well, and you will do well. I would say another shout out goes to the Blue Spade fam, and also to everyone from the Poly exec team and the team. They've done an amazing job. They continue to do it. So I spoke to Neo, I spoke to Sid, I spoke to Johnny. Thank you very much. They've been very helpful. And from my team, everyone, like Frenchy, Drifty, Tess, Star Platinum, Rebs, all of them that have been there from almost day one. So, I keep them close to my heart because they're smart people. And the engineer as well, which is getting more and more involved in the Polygon space. He's putting some crazy hours, and I respect that. So, yeah, that would be it. If you're a builder now, don't be negative. That's all I can say. Be positive. There's always ways for you to sell out your NFT collection, to bring more investors to the table, and just get in touch with the right people. That's all you have to do. Get the right investors, the right mentality on board. You don't need these meme chasers that have like 5 minutes attention span.
No, that is great. And like Lorenzo, I do appreciate you coming on the show, and thank you so much. And I appreciate your time.
Same. And if you ever need me, I'll be there.
Same to you. And guys, with that, we're gonna go ahead and end the show. I appreciate each and every single one of you guys. And if you like content like this, please like, comment, share, subscribe, download. Follow me on X. I'll have Blue Spade's socials pinned down here too as well. Hop in their Discord. And guys, I'll see you around on the blockchain. Take care.
Thank you.